If things don't go as hoped for the recently single Steven McBee Jr. and the rest of the McBee dynasty, real American cowboys, at least the big-time farmer and cattle rancher, has a backup plan. The eldest of the McBee brothers made a surprising confession when stating on the August 26th episode of the Off the Vine with Caitlin Bristow podcast that his mother, Christy McBee, gave him the idea of joining OnlyFans. As Steven joked, "I thought about it. Times are tough around the farm." According to Steven, Christy broached the topic after seeing her son's bare rear end on the Season 2 premiere's shower scene, something the real-life cowboy said he did not request, but didn't refuse either. Of watching the episode back, Steven said, "So, we did a watch party for the first 2 or 3 episodes about a month before they came out, and I'm sitting there with my mom, and I'm already sweating bullets." Steven referred to his mother as very strict, the type of woman not to curse or drink, so he was apprehensive about her reaction. When Steven's derriere appeared on screen, according to Steven, Mama McBee hilariously said, "Why don't you just go start an OnlyFans?" Steven undoubtedly wouldn't be the first Bravo to make money from the subscription service. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills' Denise Richards has made a quite lucrative living off of it, while the Real Housewives of Miami's Larsa Pippen and the Real Housewives of New York City's Sonja Morgan also profit on the site. Steven McBee Jr. reveals what's next for McBee Farm and Cattle. Should Christie's joke to join OnlyFans fail Steven Jr., McBee Farm and Cattle is potentially steering, pun intended, into a new business venture as the family's legacy continues to see turbulent times amid the FBI investigation into Steven McBee Sr. Steven Jr. told Bravo's B&B, "We're working on making this farm a tourist destination with on-site farm visits, cabin stays, and tours, where we can give back to those that have helped us save it through supporting us, and give everyone that wants the chance to come live the simple life on the farm, even just if for a couple of days." Continued Steven in the exclusive, "We've got some big plans in the near future, so stay tuned for what we have in store." Prior to the latest announcement, Steven Jr. shared in July that the family business would be making an incredible turn into beef jerky, or what he called slingin' snack sticks. Added Steven Jr., "We're actually getting ready to break ground on a new facility that is dedicated purely to beef jerky and snack sticks, just because of how successful that has been, so it's been really, really neat." Update on the FBI investigation into Steven McBee Sr. Steven Jr.'s update comes amid the family's ongoing struggles to keep their Gallatin, Missouri farm and its many business-related extensions afloat. The farm's $6 million debt, the FBI investigation, and the patriarch's ultimate conviction have worked against the McBees, as seen throughout Season 2. When it comes to what's next for the family, Steven Sr.'s sentencing is reportedly set for October. The sun sank low behind the Missouri hills, casting a golden hue across McBee Farm and Cattle, which, depending on who you asked, was either on the brink of a renaissance or just one bad decision away from becoming the next Netflix true crime documentary. Steven McBee Jr., now the reluctant face of a reality dynasty turned soap opera, stood on the porch of the farmhouse sipping iced tea and watching a stubborn calf refuse to be herded. "Hell of a metaphor," he muttered. It had been a wild year. First, his love life had publicly combusted on national television. Then, a shower scene, which he swore he didn't greenlight, turned him into a viral thirst trap. And just when he thought the chaos had peaked, his mother, Christy, clutching a glass of lemonade and the good book, had squinted at his exposed rear on screen and deadpanned, "Why don't you just start an OnlyFans?" At first, he laughed. Then he thought about it. Seriously. "Times are tough around the farm," Steven had said to Caitlin Bristow on her podcast, joking but not entirely. Between the $6 million debt, his father's looming FBI sentencing, and the responsibility of preserving the McBee legacy, Steven was juggling cattle, cameras, and crisis management like a rodeo clown in a three-ring circus. Chapter 1. From Ranch to Ring Light. I told you, Ma, it's not what you think, Steven said for the third time that morning, as Christy fried bacon and looked unconvinced. You posted a shirtless selfie with the caption, "Come ride the McBee train." She placed a plate in front of him. I think it's exactly what I think. It's called marketing, Steven shot back. Larsa Pippen does it. Christy blinked. Who's that? Never mind. By mid-September, Steven had launched a teaser campaign. No nudity. Not yet, just rugged photos of him in flannel, leaning on hay bales, holding a pitchfork like it was a medieval sword. He called it McBeef, the on-lay farm experience. Subscriptions soared. What started as a joke became a side hustle, and what became a side hustle quickly morphed into something more existential. Fans weren't just paying for thirst content, they wanted access. Tours of the farm, behind-the-scenes cattle wrangling, cooking tutorials, tractor rides, DMs asking if the on-lay farm had a VIP package. I think I accidentally created the first farm-based influencer resort, Steven told his younger brother, Jesse, who had recently quit cowboying to become a Kombucha entrepreneur in Boulder. Ride that algorithm, bro, Jesse replied over Zoom, sipping something lavender. Chapter 2. Beef, Justice, and Snack Sticks. While Steven was busy learning how to use soft lighting and monetize hay, the family farm teetered on the edge. The jerky business, dubbed McBee Meat Sticks, had taken off thanks to a viral TikTok where Steven lassoed a rogue pig and then winked at the camera with the line, "You've had pork, but are you ready for the beef?" It hit 3.4 million views. Ground broke on a state-of-the-art jerky facility, with investors calling daily. Steven had found a strange new talent for brand building, a mix of self-deprecating charm, high-definition drone shots, and rugged Americana. But none of that could stop the tidal wave of legal trouble heading their way. The FBI had been circling like buzzards since winter, sniffing around some questionable tax filings made under Steven Sr.'s leadership. His eventual conviction on wire fraud and financial mismanagement turned the family's reality show from cattle drama to courtroom drama. October's sentencing loomed like a thunderstorm. Chapter 3. Cowboys don't cry, except in their trucks. That night, after filming an on-lay farm livestream where Steven slow-cooked jerky over an open fire while answering fan questions about heartbreak, he got in his truck and drove. No cameras, no brothers, just him and the hum of old country music on the radio. He ended up on the edge of their property, where the original McBee farmhouse, built by his great-grandfather, still stood. Empty, creaking, windows fogged with time. He sat on the hood of his truck, thinking about legacy. What does it mean to save a farm? Is it about the land or the name? Is it about cattle or clicks? His phone buzzed with a DM. "You're more than a cowboy, Steven. You're an icon of rural thirst." He chuckled, a little sad, a little flattered. Chapter 4. Mama McBee rides again. It was Christy who brought the family back together. After weeks of avoiding the cameras, she emerged with a plan and a spreadsheet. "We're going full tourist destination," she declared, pacing the kitchen like a general. Cabin rentals, farm tours, influencer weekends, and a McBee boot camp experience. "What's that?" Steven asked. "Chores," she said, "and selfies. We let city folks come live like real ranchers, shovel manure, herd cattle, feed the pigs, all while live streaming it." Steven blinked. "You want to turn the farm into a reality TV summer camp." "Call it redemption," she said. "Call it rebranding. But this is our shot." Chapter 5. The On-lay Farm Festival. By the next spring, the McBee Ranch was unrecognizable. Fans from across the country flew into Missouri, where shuttles took them to the On-lay Farm Festival, a 3-day event of live music, food trucks, cow milking contests, and exclusive meet and greets with the McBee brothers. Steven gave a speech under the stars. "This farm isn't just a business, it's a story, and you're all part of it now." Cheers, fireworks, influencers on hair rides. One man proposed to his girlfriend in front of the jerky stand. They called it the Coachella of cattle. Chapter 6: Trial and Error. On October 3rd, Steven Sr. was sentenced to 6 years in federal prison. No spin, no branding, just cold reality. Steven Jr. showed up in court in boots and a tie, flanked by his brothers and mother. No cameras, no social media, just family. He gave a statement after the sentencing. "We're not running from our name, we're rebuilding it." Epilogue: McBee rides again. A year later, the McBee brand had grown beyond what anyone thought possible. Only Farm had over 250,000 subscribers. McBee meat sticks were in Walmart and Target. The McBee Farm experience became a top-rated Arab retreat. A docuseries titled Saddle Up: Redemption of the McBees was greenlit by Netflix. And Steven? He finally took a break. He bought a motorcycle, grew a beard, started dating a veterinarian who had no idea he was famous. But once in a while, late at night, he'd still log onto Only Farm. Not for the money, just to talk, to answer questions, to keep the story going. Because in the end, Steven McBee Jr. had learned something every cowboy eventually figures out.